Good morning, good morning. Welcome to another Tea with Tea. It's your girl, Riley Rose. Today we are talking about the unfortunate, tragic story of Shanquella Robinson. If you're living under a rock and you don't know what's going on, Shanquella is the young lady who went to Cabo, Mexico with her friends and they literally beat her to death. To death, her friends. So we want to touch more on that because a lot of people are just basically like, oh, this is why I stay to myself. This is why I don't have any friends. But we don't think that's the answer. The answer is not to just like live under a rock by yourself. The answer is learning how to practice discernment so that you can know who's for you and who's not for you. Because unfortunately, some of those people that you chill with, that you hang with all the time, like they're not really your friends. They may be acquaintances, but they're not your friends. And a lot of them do not have your best interest at heart. And people are going to tell you a lot before, like their actions and their body languages and their energy is going to tell you more than their mouth ever will. So, I have a lot to say, but I'm not gonna go in yet. I'm waiting for my partner, Shandy, to get on here. And I think once again, I'm just gonna go ahead and invite her. But in the meantime, you guys can let me know what you got in your cup. What are y'all sipping on? I'm sipping on my usual matcha green tea. I'm a plain Jane now. And I got my special cup, my bird cup. If you don't know about these birds, you better do some research. Birds are very spiritual. Birds deliver messages to us, and you got to open your eyes and pay attention to what's going on around you. Because whenever you see birds, trust me, they're telling you something. Especially when you see them in like threes, fours, like you know that they're trying to deliver a message to you. So I'm just waiting for Shani to come on, and I don't know what's going on, but I have so much to say. I have a lot to say, but I don't want to really get started without her. So what are y'all sipping on? Do y'all have anything in your cup? Is anybody going to brunch today? What are you guys doing today? There she goes. There she blows. Okay. I don't know what happened to my request, but it just shunned that. So I'm gonna accept her request so she can get in here.
Hi.
Hi, Boo. Good morning. What are you drinking today?
Elderberry,
Ooh.
echinacea, and ginger.
What was the middle one?
I think it's essentia. I said it wrong. Essentia and ginger.
Oh, I never heard of that one.
I be saying my own. I be pronouncing my own shit my own way.
Do
Y'all
you
can
mean
that.
echinacea?
Is it? Is that? Is it? Is it? I said it right the first time. No.
Echinacea, yeah. Yeah, echinacea.
And now I'm
Yeah,
like
right.
saying things the right way, and then I'm doubting myself.
Yeah, because you know we're Caribbean. They
We're
mess our
mad Caribbean,
fucking
and I
pronunciation
talk
up.
Caribbean, American, all in one. So my slang is kind of crazy. Like it's like,
Exactly. Exactly.
how you
But yeah,
doing?
you drinking that immune booster right now.
I've been
Like that's
boosting my
that
immune
elderberry.
system. I've been boosting it just naturally. Like my body just knows it needs to be boosted because I haven't been thinking about it like that.
You
Like
just doing
yesterday,
it.
I had carrot, ginger, orange,
Nice.
pineapple. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah, because you're tuned in.
it feels good to
And
be tuned in.
that's where you want to be. So we're talking about the Shanquella story
Mm.
and how so let me get a little bit deeper into it. So Shanquella went to Cabo, Mexico with five of her friends, and they beat her up. Like they got it on camera with one of them beating her, but apparently three of the girls that were there beat her up.
Mm-hmm.
They ended up they cracked her spine, broke her neck. She died 15 minutes after her injuries. And those people who are supposed to be her friends, they left her in Mexico. They left her body in Mexico, and they went back home and told her mom that she died of alcohol poisoning. And these are people that are supposed to be her friends. And I believe one or two of them went to school with her, like when she was younger, so they knew her for a very long time. One of them, which I think his name is Khalil, I don't want to say it wrong, but he is supposed to be her best friend. And he's been friends with her since he was a child. They stood there, they watched that girl get beat, and nobody intervened. As a matter of fact, they all planned that shit. It was premeditated. So that's just a brief story of what happened with Shanquella, and she was a beautiful person. Like I've been doing my research on this girl, and they were asking like people who went to school with her, people who knew her, and everybody was like, yo, like she has such a kind heart. Like I don't see who would do this to her. So many people had good things to say about her. She did children's hair for a living, so she did children's braids. She had a children's only salon, and it takes a certain type of gentleness and patience to be able to do work with kids.
Right.
And she had another business, a boutique. So she was very successful, and a lot of people believe that this was jealousy. Like if you watch that video, the way that the girl was beating her up,
And she
she
wasn't even
has
fighting back. So that's like,
yeah,
what are you doing? What are you really
she was
doing? Like, it's
not
not a,
fighting back.
you're
Like
literally
that
committing a
girl,
crime. Like, it's not a fight happening. You're beating her. Like, you're literally beating her. You're not, it's not,
right?
there's no fight going on. Like, I saw
Yeah,
that video and I can't unsee it. Like, the fact
girl,
that she was naked too, she couldn't have been aware that that was about to happen. I heard that
right.
she sleeps naked, you know?
Yes. So what they said happened. So and there was another video that surfaced of her walking through the villa looking for her friends, and she's like, "Oh, it's my friends for me. Where y'all at, hoes? It doesn't take you that long to get naked." So they were all supposed to be putting on their bathing suits, getting in the pool, right? Getting naked, getting in the pool. And so when she found them, they were all in one room together. They were plotting. These are people that were supposed to be her friends.
When did
Before she
they,
died, huh?
I wonder after, how long after she found them in the room did that occur? Like,
Right.
was it an overnight thing? Because it did look kind of dark.
It did look like it was like the sun either setting or rising. It had that orange look.
Okay. Look at us trying to be investigators for real. Because, like, seriously, this shit needs to be, like, they should all be sitting down in the room right now. Like, all of
Yeah.
them. Because
Yeah.
that was there. Y'all know the answer.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. And the fact that they're not coming clean, and the newscasters have been calling them, people have been reaching out to them, it says that they know something, and that their intentions were not pure. Because if something happened and it was an accident, you know what I mean? Like, because girls get rowdy, girls do fight sometimes. I have never had a physical fight with someone I called a friend, but people do that. If that was to happen and you accidentally killed that girl, the right thing to do, if your intentions were pure, was to come clean.
Mm. It
You
wasn't
understand?
start. Yeah.
Yeah, they're in hiding, and that says a lot. And this is what
It
I was
wasn't
thinking.
pure from the start. That's the problem. And that's why they came with the intention to, like, lie.
Mm-hmm.
They did not once for one say this. They lied down to the fact that they didn't even include that there was a fight. Of course not, because they know that this will link to the fact that she died. So I really do believe that they premeditated. They thought about this shit. It was really planned, and she couldn't have known that those people that she was traveling with was gonna kill her. She couldn't have thought in her mind that those people, those that she called friends, would do anything like that to her. And or else she wouldn't be there on that trip. Who wants to fucking go out? Like, who wants to? She obviously didn't even want to fight. And I'm hearing that she wasn't even a fighter.
Right.
And they probably knew that. They knew her weakness in a way. They
Yeah.
had to have known that.
Yeah,
Get her
because
secluded. Get her away.
they're studying her. They were studying her. They had to have been studying her and plotting it for a minute now. So like we don't know exactly what went down, why that fight occurred. I heard it was over men, but looking at the way that girl was beating a woman who was not fighting back, she had a lot of hate in her heart.
Mm-hmm.
And those people that were standing around watching, they had a lot of hate in their heart. And this is why it's so important to have discernment, right? And to be tuned in. Tune in.
We came in talking about tune in. Come right into it. Yes, tune
Yes,
in.
tune in. And I
Yes.
don't mean physically in a 3D. Tune in. Pay
Tune the
attention to
fuck
your
in.
dreams. Pay
Yes.
attention to shit going wrong. Like, you know how you going out and you can't find your keys. You can't find your phone. You
Mm-hmm.
get pulled over. You probably wasn't supposed to be there. You know what I mean? So I feel like if Shanquella was tuned in, God rest her soul, and no disrespect to her, because sometimes we're so tuned in to the physical world that we're not tuned into the spiritual world. And sometimes you need to take time out from the physical world and tune the fuck in to what's going on spiritually. Meditate, find peace. Because I feel like if
Yeah.
she was more tuned in, she, like, you know, your intuition just talks to you. You'd be like,
There,
nah,
there,
this
and
don't.
there are warnings. There are warnings ahead of time. I'm pretty sure, like you said, there was probably delays happening to show her signals saying no, abort, or many times before they even went on this trip, they may have. Those people cannot hide. Like the energy never lies. They had to have shown her many, many times. I'm not your friend.
Yeah.
I don't like
Yep.
you.
Yep.
Stop questioning yourself.
And me and Shandy have been through similar situations with people where, like, we know, oh nah, your intentions are not pure, you're not for me. And so we wanted to share that with you guys. Like, you know, the answer is not to go under a rock and not talk to anybody, because there are good people out there too, just as much as there's shitty people out there. But you
Yes.
got to use your discernment and listen to that little voice that tells you about people. And like I said earlier, people are going to tell you about themselves way before they open up their mouths and say a thing. So certain signs, like for example, one thing that I can say is pay attention to how people clap for you. When you get a new job, when you start a business, you know, when you decide to start a YouTube channel, when you decide to start babysitting, when you get a promotion, when you tell your people around you, how do they react? Are they genuinely happy for you? Like, oh my God, girl. Or do they have to bring up something that they accomplished to try to top what you said?
Mm-hmm.
You know, do they act like they didn't even hear you? Like, oh, okay. You know, pay attention to that. That's jealousy. Like, if you can't genuinely be happy for me, then you're jealous of me. You understand? Um, that's one thing. Those little quick little, like those little those little slick jokes, you know.
Hidden truths is what I like to call them.
Yeah, you know, like
Hiding the truth behind the joke.
yeah.
They
But
like to do that.
it was one that I was specifically thinking of, and I think Shandy, you told me that you went through that too with somebody, like, oh, trying to intentionally make you feel like an outsider, like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, but you're not ready for that yet,
Right.
or oh, you're
You're
not
not
there
that level
yet.
yet. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I feel like those people, they low key see your power, but they're trying to talk you out of it so that they
Yeah.
can feel
Yeah.
above you.
Yeah. So it's a power struggle and trying to obtain, trying to control, and that's when you know the person is actually really weak. Because if I know I'm powerful, I don't have to do shit. I don't gotta lift the motherfucking finger. I don't gotta do shit, and I know that. And when I'm sure about that, I know it's already handled. So in order, and if I'm trying so hard to make you feel less than, I must be weak as fuck.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
must be fucking weak.
Hmm.
I don't got time for that. So I look at that shit and I laugh nowadays. Before I couldn't. Before I let it get to me because I didn't believe in my power. And that's when we go back to tuning in. When you tune in, you understand who you fuck you are. And then you carry yourself a different way. You start, as soon as the intuition come up. First of all, I cannot be around anybody that I have to question. I wrote a tweet about that yesterday. Why be around people you have to question? If I have to question you, I'd rather have a distance.
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
love you from a distance because I love you. I love you, right? But I have to love you from a distance
from a
because
distance.
there's a reason why I'm questioning you, and I don't know the reason right yet. But one day I
Right,
know. That's how I move.
right. Right. And I feel like that right there too, a lot of times communication comes in too. Like you got to know how to really talk to people. Like you got to know how to be able to question somebody and communicate how you feel, because
My bad.
sometimes it's a miscommunication. You know, sometimes it's
Yeah.
a misunderstanding of energy. So that's why it's also important to be able to talk to your friends. But if I can't talk to you, if as soon as I start talking to you, you start getting offensive, defensive, and you know you start trying to come like, oh, what you trying to say? Oh, okay. You told me everything I need to know right there. Like,
Exactly. Yes.
yeah, that's another thing. You know, being able to talk to people who claim that they're your friends. Um, Another thing, people who are constantly like, I think we kind of touched on competition, right? We touched briefly on competition. People who feel like the need to compete with you. That's so important.
Which
Like,
is strong energy too, and it's most times it's not even said. Like some people are brave enough to say it, or like, oh, I'm or we're competing. Like they'll put it out there like we are, but I'm literally we're not. But like we're they'll put it out there, and then some people will just like literally, if you could feel, you could sense it. Like there's some hidden ass competition that I'm not even in.
right.
I'm not even in.
Yeah, like I'm not even there mentally.
Like I'm like somewhere. Like, I'm only person I'm competing is with myself. Like I be looking at myself every day. I don't have time to look at everybody
Yeah.
because that's my focus on me. My energy is going towards me. So it's like when I feel that energy, I know it's like it's definitely not me. I'm not there. So I'm like, okay, what the fuck do you got going on? It's usually insecurities. Like I said earlier, like people just they could just not be happy for you, like because they don't see it for themselves. And we could also talk about the fact that, all right, envy, right? Jealousy is a natural, like it happens, right? It's about what do you do with that feeling? Do you turn it inward and say, I need to work on this? Why do I feel jealousy for my friend? Why do I feel envious of my friend? I need to work on this. Do you go out and attack your friend, demean your friend because you're jealous of her? So there's two instances. There's two, like, yes, don't beat yourself up for feeling jealous. Just know the envy, the feeling, the energy is coming up is to show you that you got something to work on. It be those people that know they're jealous of you, and instead of working on themselves and figuring out the source of that jealousy, they turn around on you. They want to kill you. They want to, like, the fact that jealousy is one of the biggest killers out here.
Yeah. Hate,
Dangerous.
because it builds up hate in the person's heart. You know what I mean? That hate starts to build up, and like it turns to rage. And like a part of being human is wanting more, wanting better. So if I see someone that's more ahead of me, you know, that got what I want, like, am I gonna be like, ooh, I want that? Like, nah, fuck her. She can't have that. She don't deserve that.
Oh
Or am
yeah,
I gonna be like, ooh, I want that. I'm so inspired.
yeah.
Like, let me work harder so I can get that. But in order for you to do that, you'd have to be tuned in, because to do that, it requires for you to be able to face yourself. And some people, they're not ready to face themselves. They're running from themselves.
Mm.
Like that's the last thing they want to do. Like I would rather, they're like, I would rather to hate on you and talk shit about you and gossip about you
Yeah.
when I know that you got what I want, because I don't want to face myself. I don't want to put the
It's
work
too
in.
much work. I don't want to feel those feelings. I'd rather feel, honestly, jealousy, hatred is like it's a lot of energy. It's painful.
Too much
I can
energy.
only imagine how painful it is to feel what you're feeling. And it's so interesting that you would rather build up that hate, that feeling, the feeling that's killing you actually, instead of saying, yo, I'd rather face the thing I'm scared of. And then you all of a sudden you look at it and it's like, wow, what the fuck was I scared of? Like this actually feels better. This route is better. Going towards the light is better. Love frequency is better. That hate shit, that fear, jealousy, guilt, shame shit, that shit is way too much energy, and it's killing. It's killing people.
It's killing people.
It's
And you
killing.
know what?
Yep.
It's not even only physically killing people, it's spiritually and mentally killing people, because you will literally never win.
Your life
You
reflects
will
on one
never
side.
win. Yeah, you will never win with that type of hate in your heart. Like, what makes you think that wanting someone to feel so bad that they lose ensures you winning? What makes you think that? Like, why do you think me losing is gonna help you win? You still gonna have to put the work in. And so you're gonna watch me lose and have this weird sense of satisfaction, but you're still gonna be in the same shitty place. You ain't win. I just lost. Like, so either way, you are better off putting the work in, working on yourself instead of watching that next man's pockets. Like, don't watch that man's pockets. Don't watch what that woman got because they worked for it. So now you work for yours.
Facts.
Because let me tell you, all Shanquella's friends at this point, like, they're all fucked. Like, when I tell you they're fucked, like, I'm not even just talking about whether they get locked up or not.
Oh, they
whether
fucked.
they
Yeah.
whether they go to prison or not, whether the Lord deals with them or not. I'm talking about, like, in the spiritual world, you're fucked. You're not winning after that.
And I'm hearing that she was the one that provided for the cost of the trip. She had basically, from the looks of it, she was the most successful one of the group. And that's another thing to say, like, please be around people that's, unfortunately, people got to be on your type of level, the type of frequency, you got to be around people that look at you and be proud of you getting it, because they also they proud of themselves getting it. That got to be on the same type of level, because you mix yourself around people who don't have the energy to put into themselves and pour into themselves to have the love. They're always going to look at you through a filter of disgust, because they're disgust with themselves.
Yeah, and they're
keep
projecting.
showing them over and over again how unsuccessful they are, because they believe they are. And I'm pretty sure that's why they could not stand her, because she looked like she was just like living it.
She was winning. They hate, like I said in my post, like, people who are miserable, ooh, they hate to see people happy. They hate that shit.
Misery love company.
Yeah. So, like, even if you guys aren't on, I mean, like, listen, you can be financially ahead of someone, right? And still be their friend, as long as you guys are on the same mental frequency. Like, I could be ahead of you financially, but, like, we got the same mindset. Like, we got the same end goal,
right? Because
so I can help you. That person can help you put money in your pocket so that you can catch up with them financially.
Also abundant too, because, like, they don't have the financial part, but they're probably abundant with love, abundant with spirit, abundant with wisdom. So in a certain way, you may have the financial part, but that person has the wisdom, and y'all come together and y'all fucking build a fucking masterpiece, because y'all both abundant in your own way.
Right.
But then you're dealing with people who are not abundant at all, because they don't have the energy to work on themselves. They don't believe that they are, so their life basically reflects that. And that's exactly what this story is about. And even with the Takeoff situation, and everybody's saying Takeoff, like, I love Takeoff. I just loved how he was just so to himself. He reminded me of me. Like, he was just still, like, like, not bothered easily by shit. He just just about his music, his art, and he's out.
Yeah.
That's the type of vibes he gave me. And the fact that he lost his life that way, where he was just literally, I heard he was attention to nothing. Like, he was just like on chilling. Like, he wasn't even playing the dice game. He wasn't even in the arguments. And out of everybody, he'd gone. Like, on a spiritual sense, I know what this is. I know that his story, he was probably just here up. He had to come and do some shit, spark something in the fucking world, and leave. I know how that shit go. But on a fucking physical level, that shit is fucking hard to, like, it hit me hard. I was just like, yo, you could really be chilling too, and your life be taken. But then again, go back to the attunement. Go back to tuning in.
Being tuned in.
I'm pretty sure there's many signs at that dice game that said, let's leave right the fuck now. Or before then. Or maybe you was nudged not to even go. You gotta listen to yourself. You gotta listen. You have to stop trying to ask people, what the hell should I think? What should I feel? Your fucking body's telling you right then and there, leave.
Yeah.
Your body's telling you to stop talking to this person. Your body's telling you this is not right. Your body is so smart. But your logic, you gotta balance that shit, because if you're more logic than spiritual, you're gonna get fucked. Especially you're fucked.
For sure. And then they know what they're doing. Like, all of this stuff is everything is not a coincidence. Like, there's a reason why there's social media. There's a reason why there's TV. There's a reason why there's music. A lot of those conscious rappers, the celebrities who are really speaking true shit, either they end up dead or their music they end up falling behind because they don't want you to know your true power. And some people fall into that. They fall into the matrix of forgetting their true power and getting too caught up with all of this other distracting shit. So they're not tuned in. So, they're not listening. They're not listening to all of the signs and the synchronicity is like, okay, I'm not supposed to be there. Everything going wrong? Nah, I'm gonna just chill at home. Yeah, I meant to answer him too. Ty Finger said you up next. Thank you so much. I didn't want to cut you off, but yeah, thank you so much. Like, we're preaching to the people, and it's important because we're offering solutions. Like, we're not just sitting here gossiping about it. We're letting you know from our experience, this is how it's gonna go down. So look out for that shit. And some people respect it. Some people are gonna take our message and they're gonna apply it. And some people are gonna be like, oh, who the fuck do you think they are? Like, they don't know what they're talking about. And it's okay, because you can't bring everybody with you. But we preaching to the people that's trying to listen. Like,
I stopped, yo.
And if you fucks with us, we fucks with you. Thank you.
Shanquella, she was trying to bring them with her.
Yeah.
Her covering the trip, all the stuff was like from the heart source. They probably didn't even need anything back from them. They stole from her too. I heard that they stole $10K from her after the fact. Like, come on, how much more do you want? What do you want? To the point that person's life, like,
they stole money from her after she died?
Yes, that's what they're saying, that they stole money from her. They took, and then they said that they ran up cards after, like, it.
Wow.
Yo, jealousy, that's like the lowest of low vibration, man. At that point, you're not even a human. You're the demon. Like, your body, your vessel being used by dark energy to control that shit because you allowed it to happen.
Mm-hmm.
You allowed it to happen by not loving yourself, and by not choosing yourself, by hating on people instead of loving them. Like, that's how you wait for these motherfucking spirits to cling on to you and cause you to do this, make these actions. God bless them.
Yeah. What you can do is pray for those type of people. Like, you don't respond to hate with hate. Like, that doesn't help you in the long run. It makes you angry. Like, I definitely was angry, and I said some words about them people. Like, look at this masculine looking bitch. Because the girl that beat her up, she looked a hot mess. Like,
she did.
But I had to catch myself. Like, you know what? It's not even about that. And I heard she was a man. I don't know how true it is. I heard she was really a trans. So I don't know. But I was like, all right, let me not feed into that part of it. Pray for these people and pray that justice is served. And justice is gonna, like I said, justice is beyond the law. Like, I don't care if they get the best lawyer. I don't care if they find a modern day Johnny motherfucking Cochran, okay? Like, you can't box with God. You can't box with God. Your arms ain't long enough.
The truth shall come to light.
Yeah.
They're well on their way. Somebody's gonna crack. Somebody is.
I believe it.
No more. Something's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And is gonna finally get justice. And I'm so happy that her story has reached mainstream to the point where they have no choice now.
They're what?
They have no choice now but to find the fucking people, because her story has reached mainstream to the point where it's like people are still gonna continue to chant.
Yeah. And the FBI is on it now. And I heard that the Mexican government is also getting involved because the crime was committed in Mexico. So now that they see, because they were trying to say, Mexico was trying to say that they didn't see no foul play. But now that her autopsy shows that there was foul play and it was a murder, Mexico is getting involved also. So I hope they get, extradited? Like, you get charged out here and out there, bitch. Like,
yeah.
Listen, everything is gonna slowly unwind. I'm tuned into that story too.
I was like, honestly, low-key, in a way, I heard about the story, and I kind of still just now getting off of the Takeoff news. I'm like, back to back And that's why on the social media thing, if I need to take a break, just take a break. I'm trying to like create a veil of protection to not let it get. This Takeoff, that really hit me. I found myself like just not being able to think straight at work for like the next day. So then having to hear this, I was like, oh, I gotta chill. Like it's way too much back to back.
It's draining.
Yes.
It's draining. But I feel like when the energy of someone who passes on affects you and you don't even know them, I feel like maybe you're being called to speak on their story. You're being called to look deeper into it and learn something from it.
That's why we're here.
Yeah, for sure.
That's exactly why we're here, to like talk about it, because a lot of people are gonna share the light part on it. Always gonna be I don't know who did it. Let's talk about what really, like, what we see on the outside looking. You gotta tap into your frequency. Make sure you're surrounded by good people. If you gotta question them, take away yourself.
Yeah.
Don't question yourself. Trust yourself. Your body says something. Listen to it.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah. Don't feel like you gotta be alone. Don't feel like you can't trust nobody. You just have to practice discernment.
Yes.
Learn to listen to yourself and trust yourself about people, because there are good people out there. Like, I'm not even gonna sit here and say like, oh, it's just an ugly world. No, the world is beautiful. It just has ugly ass people in it.
Yeah.
So don't feel like you gotta be alone. Like, I know the introvert is like, yeah, I knew it. That's why I'm an introvert. Like, no, being an introvert, being to yourself all the time does not help you.
Facts.
It doesn't. No man is an island. We all need somebody. Just
Discernment
and evaluate them people before you call them the definition of a friend. What were you saying?
Many times I realize people that question themselves whenever they get the feeling that this person is not my friend or this person is not for me. They still try to come from a place of lack, saying, I let this person go, I'm not gonna have no friends. It's a people pleasing thing too. Like that's why it's so important to say, yo, I have to just like a little bit like tune into my own energy for a little bit and then come out and then attract my right people. Because you having this people pleasing energy, this lack of self-love and ability alone is gonna have you attract people that do not need to surround yourself.
Right.
It's gonna be people that really you don't, and you can't see that because it's coming from a place of lack. It's like all you thinking about is just having a friend, regardless of how sucky that friend is.
Mm-hmm.
Having a boyfriend, sucky he is, or
Yeah, and sometimes people are fun to be around, but just because they're fun does not mean that they're a good person. I swear, I had to learn that. Like, yo, it was people that I was like, I could party with, I could smoke with, I could drink with, but when it came to like having certain deep ass conversations, it kind of felt like I would lose them. Like, you ever try to have a conversation with somebody and it kind of feel like you're losing them? Like, they're kind of like, oh, okay,
yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay. So you're just a surface level friend and I can call when I want a night out.
I'd rather not.
Yeah, I'd rather not.
I could find that all in one type of friend that has, we could go hang out at the club. We could talk about the deep shit and we could goof off too, because it doesn't have to always be serious, but that balance is necessary. I can't be talking to you and next time I talk to you, it's like I have to like dim down my fucking smartness, my wisdom.
Yeah.
I understand you. I can't do that. Not anymore. I'm done with that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So over time, you learn that.
Yeah.
It ain't worth it. Cut them off. Love them from a distance. Hey, how you doing? You good? Great. Cool. I might even tap like on your shit. Like, it don't gotta be no beef. It's all love. It's all love. But you're not my type of person. We're not going to the same places. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's love. And I feel like people like to take it personal when you stop talking to them. And it's just like, we just not here. I don't look at you any less. I got places to go and I can't pull myself back, bring myself down for us to stay. No. If you want to come with me, you got to meet me.
You got to meet me up there. Because I'm going.
I'm going.
That's where I'm heading.
I'm going. You feel me?
Is you coming or not?
And if you're not coming, then I'll see you around because I can't. I can't.
Yeah.
Have it in me. I'm not about to risk my life for nothing. I'm not doing that.
Right. Yep, I respect that. Oh, we gotta hold up our cups.
I was about to say I didn't even ask what you have today. You asked me, what do you have today?
Oh, so I have my matcha green tea latte with almond milk and honey. And it was warm today because it's a little bit chilly out here.
Okay, that's like a warm weather. It
feels so good. I love it. Like, I love matcha.
I love that.
It doesn't taste that great, but if you add some sweetener to it,
yeah,
like, it's good. But it makes you feel good. It gives you energy. It's definitely uplifting.
I like the benefits too.
It's a lot of benefits. Yeah. Yep. And we know you had your immune booster, so you over there strong.
Preparing for the winter.
That's what's up. That's a smart New Yorker.
In fact, yeah. I can't wait till I'm not even a New Yorker no more.
I know, right? Soon, sis. We going places.
We're going places.
Yeah, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Did you have anything else to add?
Oh no, I feel like we literally just like as always touched on everything.
Yeah, like we touched on a lot. Yup.
Yeah, this was a necessary conversation because I needed to get that takeoff story off my chest because I was like I felt called to talk about it too. I was like, yo.
Yeah, and I felt the same way with the Shanquella story. So
conversation and kind of similar.
Very similar. Ain't no coincidence in that.
I love you so much, sis.
I love you too. And if you guys are watching this after, make sure you sit back, relax, have your tea, or have your your drinks, whatever you're sipping on, and just vibe out and retain the information that we're sharing.
We love you guys for tuning in. Next Sunday and the next tea with tea.
See y'all next week. I'll hit you in a minute, sis.
All right.
All right.